Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day. Summer is, I guess, officially here because of Memorial Day, and we're ready to have some fun. And today's guest is probably one of the most exciting women I have ever met with a great career. And it's Kelly Kawachi. And good morning, Kelly. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great, thank you. And you are with Blackbelly. And I'm going to just say, when Michelin came to town last September,
Mhm.
uh, a lot of people got Michelin mentions, a few got stars. And you, yay, female, got a Michelin star for being the butcher, meat cutter.
Correct.
Amazing.
Yes, thank you so much. It was unexpected for sure.
Well, first of all, you're my size, so I don't understand because people know I'm not very big. Okay, tell me, how did you get started? Tell me about you.
Yeah, I'm originally from Hawaii, born and raised, but I went to college in Grand Junction, Colorado. So I had my first taste of Colorado there. I fell in love with the mountains and the snow. And so went back home to Hawaii for a bit, and then I wanted to when I was back home in Hawaii, I was in a restaurant industry. Did a I worked at Alan Wong's restaurant, which is a pretty famous restaurant in Honolulu. And then I got kind of burnt out of the line cook life. Um, I wanted to stay in the industry because I love cooking, I love food. And I honestly was gonna do baking or butchery.
Two very different choices.
Yeah, two very different. I mean, I love like eating everything that comes with baking and pastry, but I did enjoy uh, eating salami, and I wanted to know how to make it. And from that little interest, got me on a spark of maybe I should learn how to do this. I need to learn how to break down animals and do all that. And so at the same time, I kind of wanted to come back to Colorado. So I pretty much searched butchery, Colorado, Denver, Boulder, Fort Collins, all the major cities. And Blackbelly popped up. Had Jose Rosenberg, which we all know from Top Chef. And they were just happened to be planning to open a butcher shop. They've been doing in-house butchery, but the space next door was an old donut shop, and they wanted to turn it into a legit butcher shop around the time that I wanted to move. So I flew out there to Boulder to meet Hosea and then the head butcher at the time. And I liked the town. Um, and that was over 8 years ago. And so I made the jump, moved to Boulder, and I guess never looked back. Um, and so I had zero experience in butchery except
Yeah, but
for
that's my question. How do you learn this?
I was pretty lucky. I feel like I jumped um I got a little shortcut. I feel like usually you go through the process of meat cutter, grocery store, maybe you work at a processing facility. But at the time, Jose's head butcher saw that I had managerial experience, and he just wanted a solid person on his team. He told me that I seemed teachable, which I think I am.
I
And
think you were, yeah.
yeah, pretty open, and I don't have an ego. And yeah, he took me under his wing, and it just kind of showed me the ropes. Um, and all about I had my base learning of how to cut down animals, learning the parts. I studied books. I was totally enamored with the whole butchery world. So I just put my head down and like learned as much as I could. And then it translated into like the physical work, hands-on work. There's only so much you can read in a book, but for our trade. So got a lot of training at work and then excelled into not just breaking down animals, but making processed meats and then onto the salamis and salumis, that was the first, interest of why I got into this. And it's been pretty awesome. It's a very fun career.
I would say unique, fun, amazing. And how many women do this as compared?
There are actually a lot. So if we're a certain type of butchery, I guess maybe people might call it like artisanal butchery. But like I consider like meat cutters in the grocery store. They're butchers, in my opinion, and there's a lot of females in that kind of trade. But yeah, there is, when you're talking about like the artisanal butcher shops that people associate Blackbelly with,
Right.
there's there's a handful, I guess. There's quite a bit. I feel I'm not, because I didn't start any movement or anything, but I think just there's been more women speaking up and like saying, oh, I can get down with a knife and a whole animal, and I want to do this. And
So
it's just awesome to see.
you take the whole animal though to
Huh?
start.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite knife that you use?
I mean, they all serve their purpose. I have a knife for carving around bones and for skinning, and I have a knife to trim away silver skin, and then I have a bigger knife to cut steaks. Maybe the one to skin, I guess that's kind of fun for me. It's just intricate and
Right. Okay. You do this with beef, pork, lamb.
yeah, we did at one time we did bison, but yeah, and we've done goat before, but right now it's just beef, pork, and lamb. So we get the pork in halves split, we get the lamb in whole, and then the cow comes in 8 parts.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. It's a huge carcass.
Oh, well, my son has a question for you. Do you wear chain mail armor?
I do not. No. That's funny. When I went to culinary school in Junction, I had a classmate that used to wear that for cooking classes. We don't wear even chainmail gloves. It just is a little clunky for me.
Okay. I have
No,
no idea what it was. So just so you know.
yeah.
But he said that you could get hurt and the people wear them.
I look like a knight, you know.
Yeah, a night, yes, very much so. Well, do you have a favorite cut of meat or pork or any of them?
Yeah, I actually, well, it kind of changes on the season, but right now I do like the culotte, or picanha, as people call it. It's the top sirloin cap, so it has a little bit of a fat cap on it, which is nice. I do like tri-tips, and I mean it. Denver's and hangers are really good. They're becoming very popular because they're marbled and tender and super flavorful. I tend to go through, besides the Denver hanger, cuts that aren't um, overpopulated. I don't know if it's because it's on every menu, like ribeyes in New York's. Don't get me wrong, I love ribeyes in New York's.
Oh, no, I think the other ones are.
Yeah, they're great when you find them.
Right, they're overlooked or less known
Yeah.
and much more fun.
Yeah, and they're cheaper. Cheaper
That,
than buying a
which is really, good to know. and they still grill well and things like that. So,
Yeah, they're super flavorful too.
all right. So now, after you do all this, then you do the curing and what you like to do.
Yeah, so so salumi is just like the umbrella term. So there's whole mussels like prosciuttos and copas that we don't process down. We just take the whole mussel and cure it. But then there's salami, which is a sausage type of salumi. It's dry, cured, fermented sausages, and from that, that can be chorizo is a good one, calabrese, sopressata.
Okay.
My favorite one right now is Hunter's Loop. At Blackbelly, we put fennel pollen and garlic in there, and I like to do a mixture of pork and lamb. So
So
that lamb.
you're creating all these as well.
These have been recipes that like Blackbelly recipes
Okay.
for a while. The only thing that I've kind of like, because it's tried and true, but also it's the recipes that were approved for us to do it. There's a whole HACCP plan with the health department that we need to follow.
Oh, all right.
So we can't really alter it unless we can, but we have to make sure that it's approved with them. We have the right testing on it and that we're following procedure.
Right.
And
Oh,
it's tried and true, so they're good. The only thing that I've been kind of experimenting with would be different fermentation times, different bacteria molds that we use for different flavors. So like a pepperoni and andouille, I like it nice and tangy, so I'll ferment a little bit higher for a shorter amount of time. And then things like the Hunter's Loop, which I just mentioned, has light notes of fennel pollen. So if I do the same application of hot to get a tanginess, I feel like the light flavors get lost because it's too, all you taste is tang. So that's the kind of stuff that I'll experiment and sample, and we all kind of do like a little taste test of what we like and we don't like.
that's amazing. All right. Now,
Yeah.
Blackbelly obviously is in Boulder. And
Yes.
it's the market and the restaurant, and it's incredible. But now you have Blackbelly Market in
Yeah.
Denver.
So there's a Blackbelly restaurant in Boulder with the attached market. And then now Blackbelly Market, it's not just in Boulder, it's in Denver as well. It's a smaller version of the Blackbelly Market in Boulder. I feel like we do less raw meats, so we don't bring in lambs or cows there, just because the space is so small and the demand for the raw meats is not as big. But I would say that we sell a lot more salumi down there.
Well,
So
that's
that's
what, when I was there, that's more what the sandwiches were.
yeah. And we have
It's,
a bigger
the
chamber too.
place is incredible.
Usually like, yeah, it's really nice and sleek. It's a nice, comfy, intimate area, but it has a lot to offer.
Well, the food is marvelous, and that's why you go there. And
Yeah.
you can pick up pickles and soups and everything to go with it.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, your bread on the sandwiches was
Yeah.
well. I mean, every single thing was great, and you were there.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. We try to have everything for everyone. It's hard to stock everything on the shelves or in the refrigerator and a really diverse lunch menu, but I feel for our size, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I would say. And Hosea, we all know, and I
Yes.
adore Hosea and Lauren and Sophie, but
Yes.
also Blackbelly. But this is very exciting. But you are doing an event.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
tell us about that before we get too carried away.
No worries. Yeah, the event, I'm pretty excited because we used to do this pre-COVID. So basically it's called Bites with Butchers. So what will happen is we take a section of an animal, each event, and kind of dial into that specific section. Coming up this first event, it's a pork shoulder, and I'll break it down in front of a small group at the Denver location, kind of explaining where each muscle is and what you can use it for. And then the guests who are attending will also, while watching me break it down, receive bites of food from that specific section of the animal. So we'll have one of our chefs do that part of serving the food, but I'll be there breaking down and explaining. And what's really cool is we're selling those parts of meat that I break down, and all sales of that will go to a foundation of our choice. This first one, which is coming up on June 26th.
Right.
It's gonna obviously benefit Sophie's neighborhood first. We gotta put her first.
She is.
Sweet Sophie. Yeah, it's crazy the amount of joy she has every time she walks in the room, despite what she's going through. It's really amazing.
She is amazing, and her parents are amazing.
Yes, for sure. Yep.
Or the mothers, believe it.
Oh, yeah, they're both great, and I have nothing but great things to say about both of them. It always amazes me that despite what they both are going through, they both managed to keep the restaurant alive, put employees first, and it's crazy how much he has in his heart for all of us.
I started crying thinking about it.
I know.
And the child, yes. And then I know the one in October, I believe, is for Parkinson's.
Yes. So, before that, we have the one in August. So it's about every other month. So this first one with Sophie's Neighborhood with the pork shoulder is June 26th. Next one is August 21st, and that's gonna the foundation is Asian Girls Ignite.
Oh wow.
Just to highlight the youth, the Asian women, specifically girls who are of Asian or Pacific Islander ethnicity. And then the October 23rd is a foundation to benefit Parkinson's disease, which I know your husband had, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, my grandfather had that too.
Well, I mean, any cause is great, but these three are very special. And I know it's only about 22 people who can attend.
Yeah, I think it's 20 to 22. I'm not exactly sure, just because it's still in that Denver space. It's very small.
And the price was not exorbitant either, as I recall.
No, it's not. I don't actually recall the price. I know that was.
I think it was $85 or something like that. And you have to have reservations.
It's a nice to see where your food comes from. I'm there to explain. I'm trying hard to get for specific events to get the actual rancher down there, which would be an added bonus. And then if you buy one of the mussels or steaks, it goes to an awesome foundation, and then you get free some bites of food.
And I think part of that goes to the organization too, but it's great. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Do you happen to know the webpage or how they would purchase tickets?
Yeah, so if you go online to Blackbelly, the Blackbelly website, so blackbelly.com, at the top there's tabs, the one will say events, and it should be on that page, that event page.
Okay, give everybody your hours at Blackbelly Market as well.
Yeah, so I'll start with Denver. Denver is Tuesday through Sundays, and it's from 7 a.m. to 4. So that's slightly different. So we do breakfast from 7 to 11, and then lunch from 11 to 4.
And the burritos are delicious too.
burritos, world famous. Best in the state. I'm a little biased, but I think they're good. And then in Boulder, the market is open from 7 to 6. And the hours for breakfast are the same, 7-11. Lunch is from 11 to 3, and then the shop is just open until 6, so that people coming off of work can get their meats. And then the restaurant side opens at 4.
And are they open every day?
They're open every day. Yeah, up in Boulder, we're open every day for the market and restaurant. It's the one in Denver that is closed Mondays, with shorter hours.
Right. Well, if anybody has not been, they should get there. And dining there, we heard about how Kelly does all this, which is beyond amazing for anybody, and watching it. And if you just go in, you just see Kelly and the staff, and they make whatever you want to order. I mean, the food is fresh, wonderful, marvelous.
I will say, I've moved into more of like a director type of role, and I just want to shout out to the staff, my staff, like my butchers. First of all, they're amazing. I found a really great team of butchers that can do what I was doing while I'm away, and it's still maintaining all the high quality products. And then our whole market team just, every day making burritos and lunch for both locations. Great.
Yeah, well, I knew the chef, or the chef knew.
Yeah.
Where you go, you find old friends always.
Yeah.
It is a treat. You are absolutely divine. And I can't thank you enough for spending some time with us today. Very exciting. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yes, you too.
Yes, very soon. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you.